Brexit, the Uncivil War, is a 92-minute telemovie written by James Graham and directed with great cinematic facility by Toby Haynes. It explores the lateral political campaign behind one of the most contested and controversial government referendums in modern history, a crusade that, for all its falsehoods and clever disinformation, claimed that liberating Britain from the shackles of the EU would enable it to reclaim its former glory. At its centre was Dominic Cummings, played with his own brand of conceptual brilliance by Benedict Cumberbatch. Cummings was the little-known campaign director, viewed by Westminster, according to the writer, as not only the Antichrist and pseudo-intellectual, but also a genius and the Messiah.
I mean, we're an education think tank primarily, and, well, you were once special advisor to the education secretary, so...
Your reputation precedes you, although we'll try not to believe everything we hear.
All I hear is noise.
Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, it's fucked. We're all fucked.
And the series, like the campaign itself, presents a wonderful parade of the tragic comic scenes that Cummings believes were created by some of the basic atoms of human nature: fear, self-interest and vanity, as he wrote recently in a rare piece in The Spectator. Everyone knows who won, Cummings tells us at the start of this dazzling TV film, but hardly anyone knows how. His trick was to persuade more than half the country that leaving Europe would deliver £350 million a week to the NHS, and that the EU was about to admit Turkey and overwhelm white Britons with millions of jihad-inspired Muslims. The slogan he has his acolytes shouting in their tiny headquarters as he stands on a table exhorting them is simple: £350 million and Turkey. As played by Cumberbatch, he speaks in a not always easily understood personal jargon, and hears the strange static of change in his ears, at one stage even going outside to lay on the road to hear more clearly. But he's absolutely certain of one thing: the future is a controversial data-led strategy, information mined from social media that not only discovers new key voters, but reveals what they think too.
I thought this was so splendid, this film. It really offers insight into how Brexit was won. I think Cumberbatch is so splendid. God, he's good. He's really fantastic. But I also thought Rory Kinnear was fabulous as Craig Oliver, who led the Stay campaign. He was an advisor to Cameron, and I think, you know, his fears and the way he articulates them, you know, are what makes this whole thing so scary, you know. And it's actually partly based on the book he wrote about Brexit.
Yes, he shows that they really didn't have a chance against Cummings, did they? They were staid in their approach and, you know, completely off the speed, really.
Well, you know, the fact that, you know, Cummings was so brilliant at, you know, sort of like popping up new issues, and, you know, the Stay campaign was always chasing the issues that he was bringing up instead of focusing on him. But the main message, I think, is how social media is being used to manipulate our democracies in the world. And I found that particularly scary. I don't know. I mean, it's sort of like all these algorithms that are used. You know, I don't even understand what an algorithm is.
No, I'm not even sure either, but I do know that our phones are spying on us at the moment.
Yeah.
Our fridges are possibly spying on us and collecting information. Our TVs are collecting information from us, and Cummings knew how to access all that and to use it to manipulate people.
Yeah, you know, through these various firms that were used by the Leave campaign, that were, you know, sort of like using data, and apparently... Yes. One of those firms was owned by a guy who was one of the major contributors to the Trump campaign in America. You know, it is this manipulation of us that I think is really scary.
Complex themes. Toby Haynes and the writer actually develop it in such a wonderfully comic way.
Well, it's
this
funny.
Is very funny film. It's hysterically funny at times.
It's funny and scary and totally fascinating.
Yeah.
I thought it was really well done. I think Haynes' direction's fabulous too. I'd give this 4.5 stars.
I'll give it 4.5 too. This is absolutely splendid television.
3 million extra voters that the other side have no idea exist.
You are kidding me. This should be an amicable contest.
War. Total war.
They can say anything they want with zero consequences.
Trumpets, please.
Let's take back control!
There is a new politics in town that you cannot control.